What if the next Samsung update doesn't try to impress you, but instead quietly makes your phone better in every possible way? That's exactly what One UI 9 is starting to look like. No overhyped features, no unnecessary changes, just a smarter, cleaner, and more refined experience that you'll notice every single time you pick up your phone. And the more you dig into these early leaks, the more it becomes clear Samsung is playing a very different game this time. Before watching, please do not forget to subscribe our channel so that you can get notified on daily tech updated. So here's what we know so far. One UI 9 is expected to be built on Android 17, which already brings improvements in performance, efficiency, and system intelligence. But Samsung isn't stopping there. Instead of just building on top of Android, they're reworking how users interact with their phones in subtle but meaningful ways. Let's start with something you probably overlook every day: the Now bar. It's always there, sitting quietly on your screen, showing small bits of information. But with One UI 9, it might finally become something much more important. Samsung is reportedly improving its design to make it cleaner, easier to read, and more useful at a glance. The goal here is simple: less effort, more information. And then comes the interaction side of things. Imagine being able to long press the Now bar and instantly access important settings or controls. No need to open menus, no extra steps, just quick, direct access to what you need. It's these small improvements that can completely change how fast and smooth your phone feels in everyday use. Now let's talk about something: visual widgets. Samsung seems to be experimenting with a new design approach here. Instead of the usual rounded corners, One UI 9 might introduce sharper, more defined edges. This gives a more modern, almost professional look to the interface. It may not sound like a huge change, but design plays a big role in how a device feels. A cleaner layout can make everything seem faster, more organized, and easier to use. But Samsung also understands that not everyone likes change. That's why there's a strong possibility of customization options, allowing users to switch between styles. So whether you prefer the current soft look or the new sharper design, you'll likely have control over how your device looks. Now, here's one of the most practical upgrades coming to the Gallery app. If you've ever tried selecting multiple photos, you know it can get confusing fast. But One UI 9 could fix that with live preview thumbnails that appear as soon as you start selecting images. These previews could line up at the top of your screen, giving you a clear view of everything you've chosen. It's faster, more organized, and makes managing photos much easier. And when you connect all these changes, you start to see the bigger picture. One UI 9 isn't about adding more, it's about improving what already exists, making it faster to access things, easier to understand information, and more enjoyable to use your phone overall. Of course, it's still early. These features are based on leaks and reports, and Samsung can still make changes before the final release. Some features might evolve, others could be removed, and there's always a chance of new surprises being added later. But even at this stage, the direction is clear. Samsung is focusing on refinement, on making everyday tasks smoother and more intuitive. And if they continue on this path, One UI 9 could end up being one of those updates that people don't fully appreciate at first, but eventually realize they can't live without. So now it's your turn. Do you like this new direction of subtle improvements? Or were you expecting something more dramatic from One UI 9? Let me know what you think, because this update might just be more important than it seems.